Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we dive deep into the electrifying twists awaiting us on Tuesday, November 11th, where alliances shatter, secrets simmer, and high-stakes decisions could redefine Port Charles forever. In the shadowy confines of Pentonville, Willow Tate's world is about to brighten with an unexpected visit that carries rays of hope amid her ongoing legal turmoil. Alexis Davis, the sharp-witted attorney with a track record of turning impossible cases around, arrives bearing crucial updates on Willow's predicament, hinting at potential loopholes in the prosecution's evidence that could lead to an early release. This moment unfolds as Willow, weary from the isolation and the emotional toll of separation from her family, clings to every word, her eyes lighting up with the first genuine optimism she's felt in months. While Alexis sketches out a multi-phase strategy involving witness testimonies from overlooked medical experts who might corroborate Willow's innocence in the corporate scandal that landed her behind bars. Meanwhile, across town in the opulent yet tense Corinthos household, Sonny Corinthos unleashes a barrage of tough love on his son, Michael Corinthos, in a confrontation that crackles with urgency and unspoken fears for the family's future. Sonny, ever the protective mob boss with a soft spot for his kids, paces the room like a caged lion, his voice dropping to that gravelly timbre that demands obedience as he insists they must bury this brewing scandal immediately before it erupts into a full-blown catastrophe. Michael's alibi, pieced together in haste with the enigmatic Jacinda Bracken, hangs by a thread in Sonny's eyes, and he envisions detectives circling closer, threatening not just Michael's freedom, but the fragile peace Sonny has fought to maintain after years of dodging law enforcement's net, perhaps even drawing parallels to past family crises, like the warehouse shootouts that nearly tore them apart. Brooklyn Quartermaine, the Quartermaine heiress known for her bold moves and unfiltered opinions, seeks out Detective Dante Falconeri in a dimly lit corner of Kelly's Diner, her expression a mix of determination and vulnerability as she drops a bombshell piece of intel that could upend ongoing investigations. She presses Dante to swear utmost confidentiality, her words tumbling out in a rush about her growing unease over Harrison Chase's deepening obsession with Willow Tate, questioning if the detective's personal feelings are clouding his professional judgment on the case. Inventing a layer of intrigue, Brooklyn recalls a recent late-night stakeout where Chase lingered too long outside Willow's holding area, his gaze betraying more than mere duty, prompting her to wonder if this fixation stems from Chase's unresolved grief over past lost loves, potentially leading to biased decisions that could exonerate the wrong people or implicate innocents in Port Charles' web of deceit. As the conversation between Isaiah Gannon and Portia Robinson heats up in the quiet corridors of General Hospital, Isaiah, the calm and collected newcomer with a mysterious past, probes whether they should proactively approach the authorities to solidify their whereabouts during the fateful shooting night that has everyone on edge. He argues that a simple statement clarifying they were entangled in a passionate evening together interrupted only when Portia's pager summoned her to an emergency shift could dispel any lingering suspicions tying them to the crime scene, especially with whispers of ballistics reports pointing toward inside jobs. Portia, however, hesitates, her mind racing through the domino effect of revelations. She envisions Curtis Ashford's world crumbling if he learns of Isaiah as a viable alternative father to their child, a secret born from a fleeting affair during Curtis' recovery period. So she counters with a plea for silence, suggesting they monitor the investigation from afar while forging their bond in hidden rendezvous that blend professional collaboration with stolen romantic moments. Shifting gears to the youthful schemers at the Scorpio Drake residence, Giovanni Joe Palmieri rallies Emma Scorpio Drake for a high-risk operation under the cover of night, emphasizing that this window of opportunity to snag the elusive key fob and infiltrate the restricted lab is fleeting and irreplaceable. Emma, the precocious teen with her parents' adventurous spirit, nods in agreement after Joe outlines the blueprint. A diversion at the security desk followed by a swift grab during a staff shift change, all aimed at uncovering classified research files that could expose a corporate conspiracy lurking beneath General Hospital's pristine facade. Adding an inventive twist, Joe shares a pilfered blueprint he sketched from overheard engineer chatter, detailing hidden vents and code overrides. While Emma contributes her hacking savvy learned from Robin's old tech manuals, turning their break-in into a thrilling heist that echoes the Scorpio family's legacy of espionage, though not without the risk of alerting Valentin Casadini's spies who monitor such anomalies. Charlotte Casadini, the cunning young operative with a flair for deception inherited from her infamous lineage, steps up to handle the critical theft of the key fob. Her plan involving a feigned school project to charm her way into the lab coordinator's office during after hours. We watch as she practices her innocent smile in the mirror, reciting fabricated questions about internship opportunities, all while her mind whirs with contingency escapes like a smoke bomb hidden in her backpack, a gadget sourced from a black market contact tied to the Casadini Empire's darker dealings. This solo mission tests Charlotte's mettle, building on her history of small rebellions against her family's control, and if successful, it could unlock doors to revelations about experimental serums that tie back to long-buried Casadini experiments, potentially linking to Willow's case in ways that stun the entire town. Back at Pentonville, the air thickens with anticipation as Alexis Davis delves deeper into her visit with Willow, unveiling not just procedural wins, but a tantalizing lead from a whistleblower within the prosecution's office who questions the validity of key forensic evidence. Willow absorbs the details, her thoughts drifting to visions of reuniting with Wiley and the life she nearly lost, while Alexis warns of the long road ahead, including appeals that might drag into the new year but promise vindication through character witnesses like Sasha Gilmore, who could testify to Willow's unwavering integrity amid the nursery scandal's fallout. This exchange fortifies Willow's resolve, transforming her from a passive inmate to a strategic ally in her defense, as she jots mental notes on counter-arguments that could sway a judge sympathetic to second chances in Port Charles' turbulent legal landscape. The sparks fly elsewhere as Nina Reeves clashes with Drew Kane in a heated exchange at Crimson Magazine's offices, where Nina's paranoia over Jacinda Bracken reaches a boiling point, viewing the newcomer as a wild-card threat to their intricate web of alliances. Drew, pragmatic as ever with his military-honed instincts, suggests neutralizing the issue quietly, but Nina pushes back, convinced that Michael will handle the discard himself after Jacinda's betrayal in cashing the check yet toasting publicly with him. A scene Nina witnessed from afar that fueled her suspicions of double-dealing. Expanding on this rift, Nina recalls a similar past betrayal with Valentin, drawing parallels that heighten her distrust, while Drew proposes a background check revealing Jacinda's ties to out-of-town investors, potentially positioning her as a pawn in a larger scheme to undermine the Quartermain-Kane merger, forcing Nina to confront whether her jealousy blinds her to genuine dangers. Sonny's ultimatum to Michael echoes through the mansion's halls, his declaration of "we have to make this go away now," laced with the weight of paternal authority and the ghosts of scandals past, like the Jagger-Cates era that tested their bond. Michael stands firm, countering that Jacinda's commitment to his alibi is ironclad. Bolstered by fabricated receipts and witness sightings, they've curated to paint a picture of an unbreakable romance blossoming under pressure, perhaps even genuine sparks from late night strategy sessions that blur lines between pretense and passion. Sonny probes deeper, sharing intel from his street sources about detectives sniffing around Metro court footage, urging Michael to accelerate their cover by public displays of affection that could sway public opinion and deter further scrutiny, all while father and son navigate the emotional minefield of trust eroded by Michael's independent streak. As these plot lines intertwine, General Hospital teases more explosive developments, with Brooklyn's confession to Dante possibly rippling into Chase's career, Portia's secrecy straining her marriage to Curtis amid hints of Isaiah's deeper involvement in hospital politics, and the teen heist group's actions unwittingly alerting a shadowy figure like Martin Gray to Casadini meddling. Willow's glimmer of hope contrasts sharply with the Corinthos family's siege mentality, while Nina and Drew's spat underscores the fragile loyalties in Port Charles elite circles. Next, we will dive deep into the chilling possibility that Pascal could orchestrate Jocelyn Jack's sudden vanishing act from Port Charles. In the ever-twisting world of General Hospital, where alliances shatter like glass under pressure and hidden agendas lurk in every shadowed corner, Jocelyn Jacks finds herself teetering on the edge of danger once more. This time, her investigative instincts might lead her straight into a trap reminiscent of the darkest chapters in the show's storied history, transforming Windermere from a gothic mansion into a fortress of secrets that could swallow her whole. Jocelyn, the fierce and determined daughter of Carly Corinthos and Jasper Jacks, has always been no stranger to high-stakes drama, but her latest covert operation pulls her deeper into the web of international intrigue than ever before. Recently recruited for a sensitive assignment by the World Security Bureau thanks to her sharp wits and unyielding loyalty, Jocelyn's task is to infiltrate the inner circle surrounding Lucas Jones, her own uncle, whose unexpected ties to the enigmatic Marco Rios have raised red flags across the intelligence community. Marco, revealed as the long-lost son of the notorious Jen Sidwell, a shadowy figure with fingers in everything from black market dealings to corporate espionage, represents a golden opportunity for the WSB to unravel Sidwell's sprawling empire. Jack Brennan, the no-nonsense WSB operative who's been guiding Jocelyn's hand, believes that by cozying up to Lucas, she can extract vital intel on Marco's movements and loyalties without her arousing suspicion. But as Jocelyn navigates this delicate dance, she must balance family bonds with espionage, knowing one wrong step could expose not just her cover, but the lives of those she holds dear. Like her mother Carly, who's already juggling her own crises at the Metro Court. The plot thickens dramatically when Marco Rios extends a seemingly innocent invitation to Lucas, a permanent relocation to the foreboding Windermere Castle on Spoon Island, that isolated bastion of Port Charles lore steeped in tragedy and mystery. Windermere, with its towering spires piercing the stormy skies and labyrinthine halls echoing with whispers of past betrayals, has long served as a backdrop for the show's most haunting tales, from the Casadini family's iron grip to the psychological torments inflicted on unwitting guests. For Jocelyn, this development opens a tantalizing door. Under the guise of familial concern, she could pay a visit to Uncle Lucas, perhaps bearing a token gesture like a bottle of his favorite vintage wine or a heartfelt letter from the family back in town. Yet, her true intent burns brighter: to slip away from the main festivities, evading the watchful eyes of Marco and his associates, and venture into the castle's more obscure sectors. Imagine Jocelyn creeping through dust-laden corridors lined with antique portraits of long-forgotten Casadinis, her flashlight beam catching glints of hidden safes or scattered documents that hint at Sidwell's next big scheme, maybe blueprints for a covert operation targeting Port Charles elite, or encrypted files revealing Marco's divided allegiances between fatherly duty and personal ambition. These invented discoveries could paint a vivid picture of Sidwell's reach, extending from European black ops to local power plays, forcing Jocelyn to weigh the thrill of the hunt against the rising peril of exposure. However, this calculated infiltration hits a formidable snag with the ominous arrival of Pascal in Port Charles, a man whose very name evokes chills among those who've crossed his path. Pascal, the suave yet ruthless enforcer with a penchant for psychological manipulation and unyielding loyalty to his employers, isn't one to forget faces, especially not Jocelyn's. Their history stretches back to a tense standoff at the luxurious Five Poppies resort in a sun-drenched coastal hideaway, where Jocelyn and her then-partner S. Vaughn posed as honeymooners to gather intel on a Sidwell-linked arms deal. What began as a romantic facade quickly devolved into a nightmare when Pascal, suspecting their true identities, seized them as hostages in a lavish suite overlooking the turquoise waves. Bound and blindfolded amid the scent of tropical blooms, Jocelyn endured hours of interrogation, her quick thinking, and Vaughn's diversions barely securing their escape before Pascal's reinforcements arrived. Now, years later, as Pascal steps onto Port Charles soil, perhaps arriving via private yacht docking under the cover of night, his sharp eyes scanning the harbor for threats, spotting Jocelyn at Windermere would ignite instant alarm bells. He won't be swayed by any cover story, a housewarming visit, time with family. To Pascal, her presence screams WSB interference, a direct challenge to Sidwell's operations that demands immediate retaliation. Drawing from his background as a former mercenary turned elite fixer, Pascal might even harbor a personal grudge, viewing Jocelyn as the slippery operative who once humiliated him by slipping his grasp. If Jocelyn dares to venture beyond the safety of the castle's grand reception areas, perhaps drawn by a faint noise or a half-open door leading to a forbidden study, she risks stumbling upon revelations that could doom her mission and her freedom. Sidwell's earlier ultimatum to Lucas echoes ominously. Any breach of confidentiality would necessitate permanent resolution, a euphemism for elimination that underscores the high stakes of their shadowy alliance. Pascal, ever the vigilant guardian, could intercept Jocelyn mid-snoop, his hand clamping over her mouth in a dimly lit hallway adorned with flickering candlelight and faded tapestries. In a heartbeat, he might drag her to the North Tower, that infamous perch high above the crashing waves, repurposing it as a modern-day prison cell complete with barred windows and a single, threadbare cot. This setup mirrors the harrowing ordeal of Esmprinz, who years ago was confined there by Nicolas Casadini in a bid to contain her vengeful schemes. Her cries lost to the wind as she plotted her escape amid isolation's madness. Jocelyn's captivity would be no less grueling. Envision her pacing the stone floors, piecing together fragments of overheard conversations about Sidwell's impending coup, perhaps a plot to sabotage the Quartermain Empire or frame local figures like Sonny Corinthos in a larger conspiracy. The emotional toll would be profound. Jocelyn, isolated from her support network, might grapple with flashbacks to a resort ordeal, questioning her choices while forging unlikely inner strength. Much like Esm's transformation from victim to survivor, Pascal, consulting via secure line with Sidwell, would deliberate her fate interrogation for more WSB secrets, or a more sinister disposal to tie up loose ends, heightening the suspense as allies like Dex or Trina begin to notice her unexplained absence. Compounding the tension, General Hospital teasers reveal that Jocelyn will soon receive shocking updates on a brewing scandal involving the Windermere butler, a seemingly innocuous figure whose unassuming demeanor hides layers of deceit. This butler, let's call him Elias for dramatic flair, has been subtly feeding information to Pascal, his true allegiance lying with Sidwell's network rather than the household he serves. Whispers suggest Elias uncovered Jocelyn's prior WSB ties during a routine background check on Lucas's visitors, alerting Pascal just in time to set the trap. These revelations could arrive via a frantic text from Brennan or an anonymous tip dropped in Jocelyn's path, forcing her to reassess her strategy mid-mission. As the noose tightens, Jocelyn's operation faces its biggest roadblock yet, courtesy of Pascal's unyielding pursuit, potentially derailing the WSB's entire Sidwell takedown and plunging Port Charles into a vortex of betrayals and rescues. Next, we will learn about the dramatic departure of Erica Slezak from her role as Veronica Ronnie Bard and what it means for the Quartermain legacy moving forward. In a twist that has left fans of Port Charles reeling, acclaimed actress Erica Slezak has bid farewell to her portrayal of the enigmatic Veronica Ronnie Bard, with her last scenes airing on Thursday, November 6th. This short but impactful arc brought fresh layers of intrigue to the Quartermain family saga, blending deception, redemption, and heartfelt family ties in ways that captivated audiences. While Slezak's current chapter as Ronnie has drawn to a close, whispers from the set suggest doors aren't fully shut, leaving room for her scheming, yet evolving character to resurface when least expected. As the dust settles on the mansion inheritance battle, it's clear Ronnie's exit marks not just an end, but a pivotal shift in the ongoing power struggles that define General Hospital's core dynamics. The fallout from Monica Quartermain's passing continues to ripple through the elite circles of Port Charles, but with a surprising resolution that sidesteps the chaos of forged documents. Tracy Quartermain, ever the shrewd matriarch, has officially stepped into ownership of the iconic Quartermain mansion, honoring Monica's true intentions rather than the counterfeit, while orchestrated by the cunning Martin Gray. This revelation came after layers of legal scrutiny and family confrontations, exposing how deeply the Quartermain estates value both monetary and sentimental runs in the show's narrative fabric. Imagine the sprawling halls, filled with decades of secrets from lavish galas to whispered betrayals. Now under Tracy's iron-fisted, yet protective reign, it's a development that reinforces her role as the family's unyielding guardian against external threats. At the heart of this resolution were poignant exchanges between Ronnie and Tracy, where Ronnie's vulnerability shone through the cracks of her earlier duplicity. In a scene laced with raw emotion, Ronnie extended a sincere apology for her complicity in the elaborate scam designed to wrest control of the mansion from the Quartermains. The plot, masterminded to favor Drew Kane's ambitions, involved forged signatures, hidden alliances, and tense negotiations that nearly fractured the family's unity. Ronnie's remorse wasn't just words, it reflected her internal conflict, torn between loyalty to her late sister Monica and the allure of personal gain. This moment humanized Ronnie, transforming her from a peripheral antagonist into a figure grappling with the weight of her choices. And it hinted at untapped depths in her backstory, perhaps early resentments from being overshadowed by Monica's prominence in Port Charles society. With her role in the mansion, heist fully exposed and forgiven to a degree, Ronnie has chosen to retreat from the spotlight of Port Charles' relentless drama, setting her sights on a quieter life back in North Carolina. The scheme, aimed at ousting the Quartermain clan and installing Drew as the new overlord, unraveled spectacularly, leaving Ronnie to confront the consequences of her actions amid the opulent yet toxic environment of the mansion. North Carolina represents more than a geographical escape. It's a return to roots where Ronnie can rebuild away from the constant scheming and surveillance that define life among the Quartermains. Envision her packing up mementos from her brief stint in town, perhaps a locket from Monica or a snapshot of the mansion's grand staircase as she drives south. The weight of Port Charles fading in the rearview mirror. Monica's generosity extended even beyond the grave, providing Ronnie with a substantial inheritance earmarked specifically for purchasing her ideal home in a cherished neighborhood. This bequest, detailed in Monica's authentic will, underscores the sisters' unbreakable bond despite years of distance and differing paths. It's a financial lifeline that allows Ronnie to prioritize stability over further entanglements. The funds aren't just monetary, they symbolize Monica's lingering faith in Ronnie's potential for redemption, enabling her to select a cozy colonial-style house with a wraparound porch overlooking rolling hills, or maybe a modern retreat near the coast where she can host quiet gatherings with old friends. For Ronnie, this gift transforms her exit from defeat into opportunity, allowing her to craft a personal sanctuary free from the Quartermain shadows. Stepping away from the whirlwind of Quartermain intrigue seems like the wisest move for Ronnie at this juncture, distancing herself from the endless cycles of alliances, betrayals, and power plays that have ensnared so many in Port Charles. The mansion drama alone unearthed buried family grudges, from sibling rivalries to corporate espionage, pulling Ronnie into a vortex she was never meant to navigate long-term. By leaving now, she avoids deeper involvement in escalating conflicts, such as the brewing tensions over ELQ shares or the mysterious disappearances plaguing the waterfront. This departure offers Ronnie a chance to heal, reflect on her missteps, and perhaps pen letters to her newly discovered relatives, fostering tentative connections without the pressure of daily confrontations. Ronnie's immediate plans revolve around house hunting in earnest, channeling her energy into envisioning a future unmarred by past deceptions. Picture her scrolling through real estate listings late at night, dreaming of sunlit kitchens and gardens blooming with azaleas elements that evoke the simpler life she craves after the high-stakes games of Port Charles. This pursuit isn't mere relocation, it's a deliberate reinvention, where Ronnie might even dabble in local community roles, like volunteering at a historical society, to rebuild her sense of purpose. Her journey south promises episodes of self-discovery, potentially teasing future storylines where she returns transformed, wiser, and more integrated into the Quartermaine fold. Erika Slezak, renowned for her powerhouse performances across daytime television, has expressed genuine enthusiasm for reprising Ronnie Bard should the writer's room call her back to the General Hospital set. Though her tenure was brief, spanning just a handful of intense episodes, Slezak immersed herself fully, drawing on her vast experience to infuse Ronnie with nuance and charisma. She highlighted the collaborative spirit on set, praising interactions with veterans like Jane Elliott Tracy and the younger talents who bring fresh energy to the Quartermaine world. Slezak's time in Port Charles wasn't without challenges navigating rapid script changes and emotional monologues, but she emerged invigorated, appreciating how the role allowed her to explore themes of family loyalty and personal growth in a beloved franchise. Reflecting on Ronnie's arc, Slezak noted a profound evolution in the character, one that elevated her from a one-note schemer to a multifaceted woman seeking atonement. The journey through deceit to redemption mirrored real-life complexities, with Ronnie's apology scenes serving as emotional anchors that resonated with viewers. Slezak appreciated the writer's commitment to giving Ronnie agency, allowing her to learn from betrayals and emerge stronger, even as she exits stage left. This development wasn't superficial. It wove in subtle hints of Ronnie's untold history, perhaps a youthful fallout with Monica over inheritance, or a failed business venture that hardened her edges, adding richness to her brief presence. In an exclusive chat with Soap Opera Digest, Slezak elaborated on Ronnie's transformation, stating, "Ronnie grew through this whole process and learned, and yes, I would be open to coming back." Her words carry the weight of an actress who's seen characters rise and fall, emphasizing how Ronnie's lessons in humility could fuel compelling return arcs. Fans tuning in weekly have flooded social media with pleas for more Ronnie, drawn to her blend of cunning and vulnerability that echoes classic General Hospital antiheroes like Faison or Heather Weber. For those heartbroken by Ronnie's departure, take heart, the soap world thrives on twists, and her comeback could unlock deeper family explorations now that the scam clouds have lifted. Without the pressure of ulterior motives, Ronnie might return for holidays at the mansion, sharing stories of Monica's youth or mediating fresh Quartermaine spats with her outsider's perspective. This potential reconnection could humanize the clan, revealing Ronnie's softer side through shared meals or therapy sessions prompted by lingering grief. Imagine holiday specials where she bonds with Tracy over wine, or helps Drew navigate his post-shooting recovery opportunities for genuine ties that enrich the show's tapestry of fractured yet resilient relationships. Slezak has fielded endless queries from fans and even family about iconic General Hospital mysteries, injecting humor into her reflections on the role. During her stint, the buzz around long-standing enigmas reached fever pitch, with Slezak's own sister playfully grilling her over the phone. "Who shot Drew? Did you shoot him?" Slezak recounted with a chuckle, "How can I shoot him? I wasn't even in town." This lighthearted exchange underscores the immersive pull of Port Charles lore, where viewers blur lines between fiction and suspicion, much like how past whodunits involving the Casadinis grip the nation. As the Who Shot Drew saga intensifies post-will drama, Ronnie's absence feels tantalizingly temporary, ripe for a narrative pivot. With clues pointing to insider grudges and shadowy figures, her return could unravel the shooter's identity, perhaps tying back to the mansion plot through overlooked evidence like a discarded glove or cryptic note. Investigators like Dante Falconeri might summon Ronnie for questioning, thrusting her into the fray and testing her reformed loyalties. This storyline escalation promises pulse-pounding reveals, blending action with emotional stakes as Drew's survival hangs in the balance. Speculation abounds on whether Ronnie and Tracy could forge an unlikely alliance, evolving from adversaries to confidants in Port Charles' unforgiving landscape. Their apology scene laid groundwork for mutual respect, with Tracy's pragmatic nature complementing Ronnie's newfound insight. Picture them teaming up against external threats like a corporate raider eyeing ELQ. This friendship arc would add levity and depth, contrasting the show's darker tones with moments of sisterly solidarity. As General Hospital hurdles toward more upheavals, Ronnie's potential return as Tracy's ally could redefine family bonds, proving that even in soap opera chaos, redemption arcs lead to enduring connections. Stay tuned for updates as Port Charles' secrets unfold.